It's time to make some people mad on the internet. We're talking about the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Nintendo Direct. Or just a few days ago, I completely missed it because I'm a normal person that has a job. But better late than never, right? So let's just get into this, baby. Let's watch it.
Long ago, there was a land called Hyrule, created by beings of supreme divinity.
Can they find a new voice actor for any of this crap? Or are we just recycling the same trash voice actors for every little thing?
Within it, an ancient solitary tree quietly watched over the inhabitants of the forest. These forest dwellers were called the Kokiri. Each had a fairy companion, and they lived out their innocent lives in these woods.
All right, I'm bored.
However, there was one particular boy.
How long is this thing? I'm bored.
Who did not have a fairy.
The imagery is like all messed up. Why is Link up in a tree, like hovering? The thematics of this imagery doesn't make any sense. Wouldn't this be amazing if these weren't in-game graphics and this was just pre-rendered, just like the Space World whatever, or when everybody got cock-teased way back in the day when, what was it? Wind Waker. The Wind Waker debacle. Oh boy, this year. So this reeks of desperation, in my opinion. When you pull out Ocarina of Time, it is like Hail Mary. It is Hail Mary time. That's all they have. They've got no mainline Zelda coming. That's very clear. It's probably just early development for any mainline Zelda. So they're like, let's pull back in the catalog. Let's see what we got. What can we bring? They've got to start selling Switch 2s because the price hikes and the material shortages, they have seen a slump in their sales and they want those to frickin' to the moon. So, oh crap, 2026 looks like a nothing burger. Here we go. Let's just pump Ocarina of Time down their throats. This is a big deal, not for us, but for them, because to invoke the name of Ocarina, it is a desperation move. There is no other way to describe this. Ocarina is a sacred chattel that cannot be touched unless you absolutely have to save the day, save the year, save the fiscal year type of situation. So to me, this is a massive desperation move. This means that there's nothing decent coming for the rest of the year for Switch 2, and proves my point that Switch 2 is a mid console with mid games, and we are just seeing a straight up nothing burger game that has already been remade once. Might as well remake it again, and I bet you they're just gonna copy paste shit from other versions and other builds, and they're gonna take the Nintendo way out and simply do as lazy a job to shellac this onto a Switch 2 cartridge and sell it to you for $80 a pop. And then they're gonna sell you the DLC and the season pack, and they're gonna say, well, guess what? If you're a real fan, go buy it. And then all those freaking idiots are going to be like, oh, I love Ocarina of Time. I'm going to go buy it. Yes. And then there you go. You got a bunch of idiots making millions and millions of dollars for them. Yeah, this is stupid. The modding community and the ROM hacking community has done much better for the Ocarina of Time game than Nintendo ever will. And if you're looking for more content, simply playing randomizers is more fun than any of this shit. So I would expect the game is going to have a nice coat of paint, and it's going to have massive bugs that have always been baked into the code of Ocarina. And it's going to be overpriced for what you're actually getting, considering it's a remake. And it's going to be a big letdown. I'm sure Nintendo will find a way to let anybody down, especially with the Switch 2. This has been the biggest bullshit game console they have ever produced. And I think it's even worse than the Virtual Boy. The Virtual Boy was at least breaking boundaries and trying to go outside the box. It was just a terrible idea. And the Switch 2 is not trying to do anything different. It is the same console on Regurgitate. It's just the pro version of the Switch 1. And it's just not worth the cost. And the type of games that are on there are all available on other consoles for a cheaper price. I've said it since the beginning. The Switch 1 is the Switch 2's biggest competitor. I see no reason to upgrade from a Switch 1. All the games are just as playable and just as fun, and it's a console experience anyway. Who gives a shit? If you're looking for super high-end performance, emulate this shit. I will perfectly emulate this on my PC in a few years' time and have a great time. Maybe even a year's time. Switch 2 emulators are already in the works, and people are dumping their cartridges to the internet, and it's going to be a thing. Don't worry about that. PC Master Race, you'll be able to play your game on your PC and not have to buy trash Nintendo hardware. Yeah, big nothing burger. Big nothing burger. I've said it for a long time. There's no reason to buy new games, at least most games. I would say there's like 1 to 3 major titles per year that are worth purchasing. The rest are pretty much trash. Shovelware, Chad slop, Goy slop, whatever you want to call it. Most of the games are pointless to buy. You're going to play them for 5 minutes and then you're never going to, start them up again. And your Steam library is just going to sit there unplayed. So I would say pass on this and pass on the Switch 2 as per usual. There's nothing coming out that makes any sense to value $500 to $600 valuable dollars when the cost of a tank of gas is approaching, $70. If you're out in California, you're just absolutely getting raked over the coals, and all these people are buying hybrids and shit, and they think they're gonna, save a buck, but they get them coming and going. That's the thing. You gotta remember that. I'm tired of being on my soapbox about that kind of crap. Today is my day off, and this is what I'm deciding to do. Like, I have not taken a day off in 2 years, and I fucking love it. This is amazing. I think everybody should do this. Just don't take a day off for 2 years and then finally take a day off. It makes a day off feel like a day off. I feel amazing. It's like day off works again, So why would I choose to do this? I don't know. It just popped up in my feed and I thought, let's talk about Ocarina of Time. It is a series I love. I have loved in the past, but I think they've totally lost their way. And Nintendo is just finding a way to grift just another console generation without really producing anything unique, groundbreaking, or anything like that. I think the last good Zelda game was probably Twilight Princess. Yeah, Breath of the Wild is decent, but it's just, there's no story. It's another one of those games where they veil the story behind all these little cutscenes and little notes and all this type of crap, when games in their past used to be a narrative experience where you actually were experiencing the story in a linear way instead of bite-sized little chunks that are spread out all over the place. And it makes a more cohesive game experience, a more narrative experience than just playing around and finding little tidbits every now and then. And I know people in the Souls games community, they're like, well, you're just not deep enough to understand that these games have deep lore and stories. And I get that. They do have deep lore and stories. It just depends on what mood I'm in. Do I want to be smashed over the head with a story, or do I want to, like, am I in the mood to like pick through the rubble and find interesting things like an archaeologist does for ancient Egypt, or lie about ancient Egypt history to sell artifacts in a multi-billion-dollar industry of black market antiquities. Sorry, we're going down we're going down a weird rabbit hole here, but yeah, my point is this: stop buying this trash. Just go buy a PlayStation 2 and go play old games, because there's thousands of games on the PlayStation 2. You're never going to get through them all, except for like one guy. His name is Coz or Cuss or something like that. He is playing through every single PlayStation 2 game on a live stream. God bless him. I wish I could do that. I can't no life it like that. There's no way it ever happened. So I got to be very picky and choosy about the games I play, and it comes across as I'm just a grouchy old man, but everyone will eventually be a grouchy old man. And you're going to look back and be like, wow, I wasted a lot of time and money on dumb shit, didn't I? Well, I think I've kind of reached the point where I have said everything I want to say, but get the fuck out of here.